up, world? Welcome back to Apocaflix Now, the movie hangout show from us, Apocaflix Movies, of course. I am your host, Jacob Bartley, and I am joined by Brian Avellino. And are you not entertained? How's it going, guys?
Are you not entertained?
AKA Jake Berlin. Hey, I don't know how, but you got to make a t-shirt. I don't know if we'll get copyright for that.
We'll
but
get copyright just like our other shirt got copyrighted twice in a row.
Oh, man. That's unfortunate.
And Jacob, I don't know if you noticed, but one of our other shirts also got copyrighted because of that copyright.
Are you serious? Which one?
Yeah, you are now the lone owner of Obi-Wan Smashing.
No way. So a Star Wars one. Wow.
I think it's because of the lettering, to be honest.
Wow. I mean,
that new one I made. Whew.
The thing is, like, it just says Obi-Wan's, like, just Obi smashing Kenobi or whatever it says, like, shouldn't be copyrighted, you know? But maybe
nobody will ever know the artwork that I made either. Damn.
Yeah.
Except for Jacob, who will forever own a one of a kind.
I gotta protect.
Well, no, I'm talking about that new one that nobody knows about.
Oh, you have a new one on the way. But I mean, some of the designs you showed us for our new Fandalorian Club one were sick. But
there needs to be a new shirt for that every year.
Every season. We're having trouble.
Still working on it, guys. Still working on it.
Yeah. But wow, I better treasure that Obi-Wan shirt, man.
You're the
one of a
only
kind.
one. I am pretty sure you're the only one who actually has a shirt of it or any kind of anything.
You know what's funny? So, like, every time I wear one of our new shirts, my brother's like, "Oh, that's dope!" And like, he wanted to get an Obi-Wan one, and he was like, "It was one of the ones he wanted to get, and he never did." So, I'm gonna put it in a frame, man, and put it up on my wall right behind me. All right, so we have a fun show to get to today. Of course, we're gonna cover our movie watching challenge segment. We are going to talk about our next fantasy draft, and we're gonna talk a little bit about some She-Hulk and WandaVision stuff, some of this Disney Plus MCU stuff going on. So let's jump into it. We got the movie watching challenge. Brian, who got me. He tricked me. I fell for it, saying he didn't watch Castaway, the movie that he was challenged to. And I was like, wow, the one movie that I challenged him to recently, and he doesn't watch it. But I'm so happy he did. And then we'll get to who was challenged next. But first, let's talk some Castaway, Brian. So you weren't the most excited to watch this, but let us know your thoughts, man.
Well, I wasn't the most excited because A League of Their Own was in the is in the race, and I really want to watch that. But yeah, no, obviously a movie that has been around for a little bit and is a pretty well-known movie, right? I mean, I would assume he won an award for that.
I'll look it up, actually.
He had to have.
I mean, his performances. I don't think he won the Oscar. I think he was nominated, though, I believe. Yeah.
Really? Dude, that movie gave me so much anxiety the whole entire time. Yeah. I was literally just like, God. Like, the whole entire time I'm watching going, nope, I would have been done by then. And just, nope, I wouldn't have been there. Nope. I would have offed myself by then. Not doing it.
Oh God!
What?
No, it is
one
of those movies. It's one of those that makes you think like, what would I do in this situation?
100%. I just love that the whole movie is also kind of like a giant FedEx commercial. It literally is just
the best marketing anybody will ever do in any movie. Period.
FedEx must have paid for like that.
They had to have, right? Like they probably had a bidding war. Like, all right, who wants to do this? UPS, FedEx, USPS.
Like, I mean, you didn't go like more than 5 to 10 minutes without something FedEx coming up.
A new package,
including on the island. But no, the movie was great. It was great. I can tell if I'm gonna like a movie or not by if I'm watching it from home. If I go on my phone, and I didn't go on my phone for it, so for me, that's an easy tell because that means I'm bored and
It wasn't slow like you were expecting, huh?
It did
Well,
have.
I would say it's slow, but it's not boring like you expected.
That's a better way of saying it.
I think mainly because I'm just like, what the hell is he gonna do next? Like,
yeah.
So I think that, and then I'm critiquing him the whole entire time, going, "Oh, I would have done it this way," even though like if this would have happened to me in the first place, I would have been like, "No, we're drowning." Like,
how
this
can
is
you
not.
Critique him? He survived.
Oh, I know.
Survived.
And the fact that he was there for 4 years, I was like, no.
With the volleyball.
Okay, thank you. That reminded me.
Oh,
I never knew that. I mean, I knew Wilson, obviously. It was a cultural.
You don't know why or how, though.
I knew pretty much everything about it, minus the fact that Wilson's was his blood.
Oh, yeah.
I did not know that. And so when he did that, I was like, oh, like that threw me off. Like, to be honest though, thinking back, like, what the hell else could it have been? Like, I mean, it
makes sense. like some berries or something.
Yeah. So, I mean, that makes sense, but, it was really good. And what's crazy, I think the whole thing is minus maybe like 25 minutes of the movie, it's literally just him. That's it.
On the island.
It's a one-man movie. And the funny thing is at the very end with when he meets up with his ex-girlfriend, if you will. Yeah. Well, no, they never got married.
I haven't seen it in a while.
I was literally getting like Forrest Gump vibes. I was like, damn, she's a bitch. Like she did all this with that. And then you see that they're like not, and it's like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, okay. That sucks. But, it was really good. It caught my attention and it stayed I was paying attention the whole entire time. Hi, Billy. I didn't even see you were in there. And the Wilson, that part broke my heart. Like,
yeah, man, it's crazy.
I was so upset watching a volleyball float away. Like,
I should have rewatched it this week.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it in a while, but it's such. First of all, I'm really glad you liked it. I think I'm not going to say that that your expectations were low, but you typically for these type of movies you don't gravitate towards them. And
I will say I was not excited.
And that's what I was gonna say. When they're good, they're great to you because your expectations are so low for these types of movies for yourself. And so I'm really happy that you enjoyed it because it's a very rare type of movie. I mean, like you had said, he acts against himself for 98% of the movie, 99% of the movie, opposite of volleyball. And we've only seen that so many times in our lifetime for actors. And so I'm glad you definitely liked it. That's awesome.
And the part when he knocked out his own tooth. Oh, yeah. I saw that coming from a mile freaking way. And I was just waiting for it. And I was like, F, man. Yeah. I was just like, when he said in the very beginning where he goes, make an appointment for my tooth. I went, oh, hell. That tooth's going to come out at some point on this damn island. And so, yeah.
Great call here by Brian, too. The Martian is essentially Castaway in space.
That's true.
You are correct.
No,
that is very true.
And The Martian is brilliant.
Very happy with Brian's response, to be honest, because Brian's very honest when he doesn't like a movie. Like, he'll just say, I thought it was trash. And so when he actually thinks a movie's great, like, it means a lot. And especially a movie like this, like, we could have chosen comedies that we know he's gonna love, like a Euro Trip or something, right? That we think he's gonna love. But when I like challenging the movies like this because it's something that I'm not sure. I think he's gonna like it, but I'm not sure. So I'm glad that you liked it. And man, when you were talking about the packages washing up on shore, I was thinking about like us during quarantine and like people waiting for their packages and they're like desperate to get them. And he was probably desperate to get a new package every day. And it is a hell of a marketing campaign for FedEx, but it's such a cool idea.
Sucked.
Yeah.
Crappy packages.
He was able to, it was so weird. Like he's able to survive based on these things that come up every day. And oh man, I forget. Oh, it's near the end of the movie. And somebody asked him like, how'd you survive? Like blah, blah, blah. And he says, you never know what's going to wash up on shore tomorrow. And that's kind of like a metaphor for life in a way. So I love this movie. And somebody in the chat asked, where does it rank among Tom Hanks films? I need some time to think about that, but this is definitely in my top 3 for me. This is in my top 3, but he has so many great films, and Keith is right on time to talk some Castaway. But yes, Brian, I'm so happy you liked it.
What's up, Keith?
Yeah. Hi, Keith.
Keith Barnes.
Number 1.
Can you hear us?
All right.
Oh, are you behind us?
Yeah, I think he's a little behind us, but that's okay. That's okay.
Oh, him.
What about the post, Keith? No, I'm just kidding.
That's good. That's awesome. Well, yeah, Brian, glad you enjoyed it. Jacob, why don't we get to the next part of the movie watching challenge?
Yes. So Brian chose me to be challenged, and so we're gonna get to that. We're gonna reveal. Have you guys chosen the movies, right?
Yes, Jake.
Okay, so
this is an amateur hour.
No. I want the fans to decide. I want the viewers to decide.
You want the fans to decide? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I want the viewers to decide what I watch. I love interacting with the viewers and having them have a say, and especially those who watch us regularly and know our personalities, and they get to decide our fate. So I think that's fun.
Okay, so there will be a poll up tomorrow morning for the 3 movies that Jacob has officially been challenged to. And those movies are number 1, Demolition Man.
Oh, okay.
Number 2, Love, Simon. And number 3, Brightburn.
Whoa, I wasn't sure what that was at first, but
Brightburn.
Yeah, that's Brightburn, man. It's a recent movie.
Drastic choices.
Yeah, there was not a lot of pictures for Brightburn available. So.
Yeah, they're so different. Interesting. No, I've been wanting to see all 3 of these movies, first of all. Second of all, they're all 3 very different. And if I'm not mistaken, they all came out very different times, right?
They're all different decades. Well, Love, Simon and
Brightburn
were the last
recent,
but
they're
like 5
not
years.
Love, Simon was like 3 or 4 years ago, right?
Yeah, within the last 5 years were Love, Simon, and Brightburn, but Demolition Man was back in the 90s.
Yeah, so that's a good mix, because these are all movies that I need to watch. Other than one, I don't know who chose which.
You don't know that.
No, I'm just kidding. Jake definitely chose Love, Simon.
I am very excited that you let the audience decide. And
I mean, I think I'm always going to choose that.
This has a good chance to be
a close race.
Yes.
No.
Dude, Brightburn's not bad. Don't hate on Brightburn.
No, I'm not saying it is, but it was something that I should have watched when it came out in theaters. I just never got around to it. And I know, like, we talked about it before on Apocaflix, and forget who, but a couple of you guys were like, wanted me to watch this movie. So I'm curious. But yes, I'm down for all 3 of these. So, but choose wisely. I just wanted to say that. Interesting. Yes. So before we get to our watch along reveal, live edit here from the producer, but I'm going to tell you guys about our podcast. So if you have not yet, go to your favorite podcasting app or podcasting platform and search at Apocaflix Movies. We're on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere else you listen to podcasts. I love pulling up my Google Podcasts app and pulling us up. It feels cool. Like, instead of watching a video, I'm listening to a podcast. So check us out there. And I believe they use less data if you don't have unlimited data. So once you download the podcast on Wi-Fi, you can just listen to it in your car without using a bunch of data on YouTube. So yes, go check us out and subscribe to us on those different platforms, and also comment and rate. We would really appreciate it.
I've really recently discovered. Yes, I'm late to the party, but Spotify. Spotify's pretty dope.
Oh
Not
yeah,
gonna lie.
it is.
Spotify's great, actually.
I had it on my phone already, and I didn't even know. It just came with my phone.
Here's the cool thing about Spotify, and I don't mean to cut in, Brian, but unlike a lot of podcast apps, obviously something like Apple Podcast does it for iPhones, but Spotify plays if you exit the app, which is really nice. And a lot of apps don't do that.
Google Podcast does that too. That's why I love it.
Yeah, in fact, I listened to Billy's podcast, See You Next Summer, on Spotify, and that's literally where I was going to go with it, Jake, is I will walk around or go do something, and it's nice to not have to sit and have the YouTube app open.
Yep.
So
and that's what I hate about YouTube. I wish YouTube would do the same, but I understand why, because it's video formatting. So
yeah.
Does your guys' YouTube like go smaller and you can move around on your phone? Well, it depends. If it's a short video, it doesn't do that. But if it's a longer video, it does. It's weird. For mine, it's if it's like a 5-minute video, it doesn't do that. But for like a podcast, it does. So I think that's why. But still, you still have the screen in your face, like right in your view or something like that.
Billy, did I call your podcast late to the party? Because if I did, it was
no. You said you were late to the party on Spotify.
Oh, got it. Okay, I was like, wait a minute. I don't think I said the
You
wrong
said
one.
something summer though.
Yeah, See You Next Summer. That's Billy's podcast. I was going to say, I don't remember. I was like, I don't remember saying late to the party. But yes.
Nice.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so yeah, please go do that. We would appreciate it. And so let's get to our watch along reveal. So we announced our movies was it last Thursday that we announced them? Yep, we announced our movies last Thursday. And if you don't know, our goal is to do a watch along each month. We've done a few here now, and they are so much fun. And we have a winner, I believe. And I don't know the winner yet, so I'm excited to see what it is. So let's go ahead and get to that.
We do have a winner. So we have 4 movies that have been nominated, and that is Dodgeball, A True Underdog Story, Jurassic Park, Mission Impossible, Fallout, and Toy Story 3 were the nominations. I will say this was our most interacted with poll so far.
Really?
We have 85 votes, 4 comments, and 10 likes on the post, which is really good for us. It's really, really good for us. And so people were excited, and it was a stomping. It was an absolute stomping by one particular movie with 44% of the votes. And keep in mind, that's out of 85, 44% of the votes. Your winner for our watch along, which we will be doing this weekend, is none other than the classic Jurassic Park.
My choice.
The classic Jurassic Park is our winner of a watch along. So we will be doing that this Friday, everybody. Make sure you join us on Friday in Apocaflix Now for a Jurassic Park watch along.
It was my wrong with Jurassic Park, man.
It was my inspiring, motivational choose my movie speak.
Dinosaurs. It was this.
Yes.
Dinosaurs.
Oh yeah. Dinosaurs.
Life finds a way. Yes, you are correct. Great call.
Yeah, any of those would have been great. And I was actually kind of pulling for Toy Story 3. I thought that would have been fun with an animated film, but
not right now.
But I'm down for Jurassic Park. I definitely am.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I was kind of hoping for Dodgeball.
So was I. I wanted a fun movie to watch with some one-liners, but I get it.
We get to see dinosaurs eat people, so that's
fun. Exactly. That's always fun.
And Laura Dern. I'm obsessed with Laura Dern.
Yeah. Well, did you see the picture of the OG3 today that was posted?
No.
On the set of the Jurassic World.
They're in that movie, Jurassic World.
It was Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum were all together because they're in the new one.
What is it called? Dominion?
Jurassic World Dominion. You are correct.
Interesting.
Ooh, Gabby, you like dinosaurs? I did not know that.
Notice she's on her own YouTube channel now.
Well, that's because we're streaming on ours.
Yeah, cool. All right. So we're going to be doing Jurassic Park this weekend.
Chris Pratt ride a T-Rex in that movie.
Don't. If anything, it'll be a velociraptor or something like that.
He was riding a dirt bike or a motorcycle in the woods without bumping on any sticks or anything. Come on, man. Anything's possible.
Oh, God.
There is nothing wrong. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that scene, Jacob.
Hey, other than that, I love that scene. Raptors, oh my goodness. Going to fight a T-Rex on it's great. All right, so let's get to our fantasy draft reveal. So Jake, you have we have a new type of fantasy draft we're going to be doing. We've done a bunch of fantasy drafts, but they haven't been like this. So Jake, why don't you tell them what we got in store?
Real quick, if you didn't read it, Keith, connect your mic. Keith, connect your mic. So our new fantasy draft, which we will be doing next week on next Thursday's show, is going to be a little bit different. We're essentially going to be recasting a movie fantasy draft style. So we're going to be picking one specific movie, and we're going to be nominating actors and actresses and directors and writers and genre, or maybe not genres, maybe we'll see. But we're going to be nominating a cast and crew and drafting from that pool to recast this movie. And so simply, and we may pick a movie that we decide on afterwards or in the coming days, but we want to hear you guys' thoughts on movies that you guys would love to see recast. Now, keep in mind that the cast has to be relatively larger. So not one or two people are like the main leads to like take over the story. We need a couple people to kind of do this with, because we want to do like 6, 7, 8 rounds worth of drafting. And because we can't do a genre because the genre is already picked. And so we want to make sure we have enough rounds to do. And so, if you have a recommendation for a movie you want to see us recast, it can be anything new. It can be any genre. It can be anything from the past. But we want to have fun with it. And this is something that we're very excited about because it's something we can do over and over again with different movies. And so let us know. Yes, Rachel, no Castaway for recasting Castaway.
That would be literally no 2 people.
Yeah. And I was going to say,
one of them's the volleyball.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The original Halloween. It's just Jamie Lee Curtis. Like, there's not enough and the
Brandy, The Outsiders would be good. The Outsiders would be really good. That's a great pick.
Brandy, that's drop the mic.
Yeah, you might have just dropped the mic on that. We will definitely keep that one in mind.
I would imagine not a film that came out last year, like, because all those actors are still. They could play them again, those characters again. Yeah,
we want to have fun with it. We want to bring modern day actors into maybe an older movie, and so keep that in mind. But what?
I don't know, not necessarily. We could recast like you could recast like I don't know,
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
or once you could recast that. You could recast like I don't know, Mission Impossible. That's one of those. Or
fair.
American Pie.
It's more likely going to be older movies, but a modern one is fair if it makes sense.
Yeah, that's going to happen next Thursday. So October 1st, it will be this fantasy draft. So be ready. We always have fun with this, and it's time for our new fantasy draft. So
it's a good one.
Yes. So we're going to move on to the She-Hulk casting.
Oh my God, this would be a nightmare. This would be a nightmare.
Oh my goodness.
Well, they're still making those.
They're still making them, but that would be an absolute nightmare. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Rat Race. Clue.
That would be interesting.
Those are really
hey, Clue is a good one.
Clue is a good one.
Yeah, that would be fun. Aren't they making one with Ryan Reynolds? And who's making one?
They were Jason Bateman.
Oh, did they cancel it?
They were. They're not doing it anymore. No.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, you could recast Clueless. That's a good call. Yeah, very good. That'd be really good.
Keep them coming, guys. We'll write them all down.
Yeah,
Rocky.
Sure.
Recast Rocky with Michael B. Jordan. That'd be good.
There you go.
There we go. That works. Yeah. So if you guys didn't hear, She-Hulk has been cast for the Marvel Plus series, and Tatiana Maslany is going to be playing her. She's from Orphan Black and in the new Perry Mason show, which I have not watched myself, but I remember her. I haven't seen Orphan Black either, but do you guys remember when they were casting for Rogue One? And it was
she was the runner-up for Kira.
Her and Felicity Jones and somebody else. And
was it Rogue One or Solo?
It was Rogue One. It might have been. She might have been up for both roles, to be honest. But
I might have been mistaken then.
The Rogue One casting, the lead of Rogue One was up between her, Felicity Jones, and somebody else. But Felicity Jones ended up getting it, and I'm actually not familiar with her, so I'm curious to hear anybody's thoughts who's watched anything with her in it. But let's go before we discuss that. Let's go to Brian for some more information on She-Hulk, because other than some basic information, I don't even know a lot about her.
Yes, as the resident Marvel comic guru, that is She-Hulk, clearly on the screen. So if you didn't know, her name is Jennifer Waters. and
Walters.
Sorry, excuse me. Spoke too fast. Sorry, spoke too fast. I know Keith. Actually, Keith should have done this one because he really likes She-Hulk. Yeah, she is the cousin of Bruce Banner, obviously. But she actually has a really kind of dope origin. So she grew up as a just a normal New Yorker. But at 17, her mom is killed. Her dad is a sheriff. And she always thought the mom died of suspicious reasons. She then later
love it.
Yes. Only to later find out that she becomes a lawyer and ends up representing a mob boss in court, and only to later find out that said mob boss is responsible for her mom's death. When she figures that out, the mob boss puts a hit on her, and that's when she almost dies. And it so happens that Bruce Banner is the only person that has the same blood type as her, but at the time has the Hulk gene, if you want to call it, gamma radiation in his blood. And in order to save her life, they have to do a blood transfusion between the two, a la her blood. Bruce Banner's blood is in hers, and that's how she becomes She-Hulk. Now, the main difference with her is that she has the ability to go back and forth at will, from She-Hulk to human, if you will.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And it's funny because I actually didn't know that the reason that the Hulk isn't allowed to do or can't do that is because he has a dissociative identity disorder. And that is technically the reason why he cannot go back and forth. And that's why they're always fighting for control and then eventually merge. Whereas she does not have that, and she can just come and go as Hulk as she wills. So, yeah. And obviously she's a lawyer, so that likes to defend other superheroes if need be. A la probably Peter Parker.
Great way to bring her in. Great way to bring her in.
But yeah, dope backstory. I really like when I was checking it out. I was like, this could be really freaking good on TV. Like,
one thing I wanted to add to Brian's description, and I did when I was writing up the notes, is that she is the final major character to be co-created by the late great Stan Lee.
Wow.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
She's been around since 1979, so she's
been around for a long time.
Yeah. And if I may also just add a quick thing, because I'm a big She-Hulk person. Very, very good, Brian. I actually I forgot about the part with her parents, her mom being killed. But I'm glad you mentioned that her 1979 debut, which is about 10, 11 years before Deadpool. And I say that because she's a character that is known to break the fourth wall.
Love it.
Often. She actually addresses readers. She addresses the writers and the editors. She gets in arguments with the editors often, pages of the comics. You'll see her sometimes in old issues. You see her walking through the ads, she's traveling from one part of the story to the next. She's a character that is aware that she is a fictional character in a comic book, and so that would be a fun part of. I think we did this on about a year ago on.
Yeah, we talked about it a long time ago.
Yeah, and so That's an interesting element. I wonder if they will add that in the show. But yeah, and I also wonder too, because she's about, you mentioned obviously her she's able to control her transformation into She-Hulk. But she grows to like 6'7" or 6'8" or something like that.
Yeah.
And at some point she just decides to stay that way. Like she just decides she likes being green She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters, and so she just stays like that even when she's working. Eventually.
The character herself, like, it's funny because one of the main things people were freaking out about when the casting came out was she was like, that's a short actress. She's only 5'2", whatever.
Right.
She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters is only 5. I looked it up. She's only a 5'1",
right,
in human form. So the getting
that's like saying Mark Ruffalo's not as tall as the Hulk. Like what?
Exactly. The Hulk's like 8 feet tall. Like
So it's
obviously going to be CGI when she's She-Hulk.
So real quick, because we can get to the Tatiana Maslany news too. We can talk about that a little bit. But I did some research while you guys were talking, mentioning I wanted to make sure that Orphan Black didn't break the fourth wall. And it doesn't. But she does play multiple characters on the show, which is a huge part of this casting. But
Billy told me like 5 characters.
Yeah, she plays a handful of characters, if not more. But here is a very interesting part of this, because we had mentioned fourth wall. The show is being co-written by a Rick and Morty writer, which they break the fourth wall. And so that could be a tell of what they're doing with the show, and we could officially see the first version of what the MCU's take is on breaking the fourth wall, leading to some Deadpool stuff down the line. I seem to think that with having that Rick and Morty co-writer on there, she's probably going to bring that to the script. And so I'm very interested. They just announced like a couple days beforehand too that Kat Coro is actually going to be directing a lot of episodes. And she has done numerous television, including Dead to Me, Shameless, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Modern Family. She's done a lot of television, a lot of popular television. She also has a film coming out in February, which is a big thing. And so everything seems awesome for this show so far. And we had talked about Tatiana Maslany and whether or not we recognize her. I know her personally from Perry Mason. I have not seen Orphan Black. I am watching Perry Mason. I'm just a few episodes from finishing it, and she's great in that. I've heard incredible things about her for as long as I can remember, especially for Orphan Black. And Brandy here in the chat says that we all need to watch it. Apparently, it's just incredible. And I remember when the show was on, people were just losing their minds over it. If you don't recognize the name, this is her in Orphan Black. That's who she is. She'll probably look very similar to that as Jennifer Walters, actually. And then this is her in Perry Mason as well. She plays someone in the church in that time period. So I think it's awesome. She's been revolved around Star Wars recently. She's kind of been in the Disney look for a while. And so it makes sense. And then if they do bring her into the MCU as far as films go, you definitely have a caliber actress to bring her to life in that version. So I'm stoked for it. She-Hulk's definitely becoming this show that I'm really getting psyched about, because it's going to be a courtroom drama / comedy with the fourth wall breaking, possibly playing into Spider-Man, like that type of stuff seems very, very interesting.
I agree. I mean, I've never seen her in anything, but we've been hearing about her for 5 or 6 years, and people say that she's an amazing actress, and that's obviously they were looking for an amazing actress to play Jyn Erso. They had Academy Award winner Felicity Jones.
Yes.
She won for Theory of Everything, I believe, or nominated, either one. But yeah, so this actress is great, and that's all that really matters, right? Is getting a great actress in there for this, and it's going to be interesting. I'm not familiar with the She-Hulk character either, but that's pretty cool that she breaks the fourth wall. I wonder if there was any characters who did it prior to that in comics. Because obviously it's a big Deadpool thing. Harley Quinn does the exact same thing, but obviously Harley Quinn was created way later in the animation show, and she's kind of taken on a Deadpool She-Hulk type thing in her comics. So I think that's really, really cool. And I don't know, do you guys think Marvel will break the fourth wall at all? I mean, they have to with Deadpool.
Yes,
but
they will.
They haven't broken the fourth wall yet at all.
If they're gonna do it, the TV show is a perfect spot to test it out.
And if WandaVision, like we're gonna talk about WandaVision in a second, like they're obviously not afraid to do fourth wall breaking if they're doing WandaVision. So so that makes sense. But yeah, I'm getting more and more excited for the show. Brian, I love her origin. Like I didn't even know that stuff, because here's the thing. At first, it sounds cheesy to say, oh, Bruce Banner. Of course, Bruce Banner's cousin is She-Hulk. Like, it's his family member, whatever, but it would make sense that if she was injured and about to die, he would be the one to go to her right away to make sure she's safe. And if they had no time and he was like, oh, the only way to save her is to infuse her with, my blood, then that would make sense. It's not like a forced way of making his cousin also be She-Hulk. And it makes me think, is Mark Ruffalo going to appear in this show? I think he will for at least one episode.
I think he
said would make sense. He tweeted, I think he said, welcome to the family or something like that when she got cast.
He said, welcome to the family, cuz, is what he said.
So,
and is she some type of like Hispanic or something? Or what is it?
Tatiana Maslany? I'll look it up.
Keith, it's funny that Keith, I typed in
he's Canadian.
Characters.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you have another Canadian breaking the fourth wall. Makes sense to get another Canadian to break the fourth wall. It makes sense. Go ahead. Nobody got that joke? Okay, never mind.
No, we got it.
No, I get it. Ryan Reynolds, yeah.
Come on, guys. Ha, 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 ha.
No,
I said.
It probably is perfect segue, because she, in the comics, it literally, he just came to visit her, and this just happened to he just happened to be the closest thing to her for that blood transfusion. So it's not a forced thing. I mean, he could literally just come in for an episode or two and just be like, oh, my uncle's visiting. And then boom, this happens. She might, who knows? She might not even be She-Hulk until the end of the show. You never know. But I'm excited for it.
I know we got to move on real quick. Sorry, but she'll sue other people as well. Like there was a storyline. This isn't going to happen, obviously, because he's gone. But where she went after Tony Stark because he gave her something, he gave her something to where she couldn't transform into She-Hulk anymore.
Oh wow!
And
interesting.
And
someone will eventually do that.
Yeah, exactly. They'll have somebody else do it. But that's a pretty cool. So she was pretty pissed about that.
And real quick before we move on, I did a little bit of research, and I don't know if this is like absolute concrete, but it does say from what I read that she was the first official Marvel or DC character to break the fourth wall.
That's what I was what I was about to say. It's funny because it was in 1989, and the fourth wall was broken because she was demanding that readers read her comic.
Yeah.
which is dope.
Cool. All right, Jake, what's next, man?
Yeah, let's get into this WandaVision trailer, guys, because this broke the internet on Sunday. It was released during the Emmys. It was the highlight of Sunday evening for a lot of people. Brian and I were actually recording a show, and we actually did a reaction online while it popped up online. Look, we got over a minute of footage. A lot of it brand new. We get a really good sense of what they're going for in this show. Let me go and pull up some screenshots here that I pulled. Obviously, we got a lot of sitcom vibes, the black and white of them back in the air. And so far, we've gotten the sense that they're going to be going through decades a little bit. Here's a little bit of a blend of what could happen as the black and white goes away and goes to color, which happened in one of the scenes. Here's another one a little bit later on, looking like the 80s a little bit. And obviously, a big point here in this image is the kids. The kids could definitely play a huge part in this show and the Marvel future. And then obviously these, we get the classic costume of Scarlet Witch and the classic Vision costume, which is obviously on Halloween, which is really, really cool. You can see it in the background, some people dressed up and stuff. And of course, this is the official poster that was released as well for the show. Really trippy and vibey going for what the show is. A really good display of what it kind of is aiming for. And I don't know about you guys, but I got way more excited about the show after seeing that footage, because it truly is remarkable that they're doing this crazy sitcom, multiverse, trippy drug type of thing with this show that seems like it's just going to go all over the place and test boundaries for these characters. And I love that line with Catherine Hahn when Vision touches her head and she's like, "You're dead," and he's like, "What?" So maybe crazy. this is, and we've talked about it, playing into that, that House of M storyline with Scarlet Witch of her turning reality sideways and doing that type of stuff. But I think it looks awesome. I can't wait to see Vision back on screen after dying. I am always digging for more Scarlet Witch, because I think she's one of the best characters in the MCU. And I'm pumped that this is coming sooner rather than later, which is official. So some people are saying Thanksgiving, some people are saying middle of December.
They already announced. Disney Plus announced when it was. It's December.
Okay, so there we go. We're getting into December, which is awesome. Holiday season, I'm down for it.
Who wants to go?
I'll go. This was really cool because I've been really excited for this. It's something different, and I read a Vision comic where like it was about him, but he had a robot family. He had a robot wife, robot children, and Scarlet Witch was involved, and it was amazing. And I forget. I think is it Tom King, the comic writer?
Yes.
He wrote that, and it was just incredible. And I don't think, because that was a Vision comic, so I don't think that it's going to be necessarily this, but it reminded me of it, and I think they'll play into that a little bit. Maybe there will be one episode where she plays with his mind and gives him a robot family and kind of messes with him and stuff, because who knows what's going on with her. I mean, at heart, she's a good person, but who knows how she's being affected by everything that's happened to her up to this point, and by the powers that she has. And so I'm curious to see how that plays. And she's definitely like one of the scariest characters in the MCU because her abilities and things like that. So I know of the House of M storyline, but I don't know much about it. So I could see them doing a version of it. And we've heard that this is going to go into Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
This is like a prologue.
So
for Doctor Strange 2.
This is like, if she's going to be the villain of that movie, this is like the setup for the villain of that movie, which is pretty cool. So I'm
not be her.
She's 100% gonna be the bad guy, and I dig it. Like, make her.
Too.
I want to see Elizabeth Olsen in evil glory as Scarlet Witch. Oh,
the more and more I see stuff, the more and more I'm starting to buy in that she's going to be the bad guy.
Yes, 100%.
Or not so much a bad guy, maybe, but something is going to go wrong where she's the antagonist and or villain.
Well, and we know Nightmare is going to be in the movie, but that doesn't mean that she can't be, like you said, the antagonist.
Well, look at the first Doctor Strange. Is it Dormammu was in the movie?
Yeah.
But he wasn't the main villain. It'll be like that.
Yeah, very true. It's going to be awesome.
Keith, you want to go?
Yeah, sure. Well, I will predict she might be the new big villain overall. She might be the new overall villain.
I would love them to do that storyline.
Yeah, but because there's a lot. I don't think with everything that's happening with her, I know it's a different, it's a movie, it's not the comics, but I mean, there's a lot going on with her, So for them to just one movie would not, obviously they're doing the show and then just the one movie. I don't think it would be enough because it's a lot to address. And it'd be interesting to see how they do it without Captain America as well. But Jacob, you said she's scary, and she is. That's the vibe I got. Honestly, I was watching it with dread, like, oh man, this is not going to end well at all. None of this is going to end well at all. This is going to be terrible. Whatever happens.
I mean, just look at this. Yeah, you're right. This looks terrible. Like, this looks like things are going to end very badly.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And the fact, and you hit on it too, Jake. That line with Catherine Hahn, who voices Doc Ock in Into the Spider-Verse.
I love Catherine Hahn, man. She's hilarious.
Yeah. But yeah. She's like, am I dead? And he's like, why would you ask that? And he's like, because you are, which is a great line because who is she? How does she know that Vision is dead? Like, I guess, unless.
Thank you for segueing me when you're done.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad. Okay, yeah, I can't wait to hear it. But yeah, I haven't looked. I watched this just one time, so I didn't really look too much into it.
You've only watched it one time.
I've been busy with stuff. Honestly, it looks incredible. I was just like, oh man, I haven't had a chance to really sit down and dive into it. But yeah, man, like I said, that just the overwhelming sense of dread. Curious just why this is happening. I wonder if just because she grew up in this Eastern European country, maybe all these sitcoms are just that's what her and her brother grew up watching. Because overseas that's what you get. They get a lot of older stuff. The Nanny is huge in Australia, right? Like we barely watch it here. Really? They watch stuff like that.
Billy kills it with puns.
But no, that's a good point. I don't think we've heard that before. Like they were going to play on that where she's like all she watched was sitcoms growing up or something.
Yeah,
American sitcoms.
Well, if you go back to because they did like a teaser trailer like months ago, like a long time ago, and I don't know who did it, but some website did a breakdown and compared the scenes to sitcoms that we've seen, like real life sitcoms. And so I'm interested. I might have to go back and look myself, but I'm interested to see like is one like the Brady Bunch and one I Love Lucy,
they said.
And like that type of stuff.
I'm pretty sure they already said which ones it is. I Love Lucy is one. Roseanne is one. Sabrina.
Oh, Roseanne. Yeah, there you go.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch is one.
That makes sense.
Because I was going to say that one where they're holding the kids, that looks kind of like the Roseanne house.
It might be. Like, what if they recreate the sets?
It kind of looks
I know. Yeah, I fully believe that's probably what they're going to do, especially since they own Fox now, and that probably produced a bunch of those shows. Sorry, Keith, go ahead. Do you have more?
Oh, that's it. I'm good. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, scary. I'm scared. I'm scared for what's coming.
It's funny that you felt that too. Like I mean, obviously not for me, but I felt scared for the MCU in a way. Yeah, because man. I mean, I agree with you guys. If the thing is, we keep talking about who's the next big villain. She's capable. She was going to defeat Thanos by herself. And obviously he didn't have the full gauntlet or anything like that, but he was capable to lead up to that point without it. So I think that would be amazing. Who's going to take her on like individually? Probably nobody.
I mean, her brother and Vision,
Doctor Strange and Captain Marvel, but I don't know, man.
So real quick, I'll butt in here. Here are the sitcoms. I found them. So I Love Lucy, I Married Joan, Leave It to Beaver, The Brady Bunch, That 70s Show, Married with Children, Full House, Family Ties, Roseanne, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and then apparently for modern take, Modern Family as the most recent one. So there's actually a lot of influence in there.
Really cool. Jake, you just made me think of something. Aaron Taylor Johnson is going to have a cameo in this show.
1,000% he's coming back.
The thing is, it's not like reality, right? So she's going to try to create some type of fake reality where her brother's still alive.
Hell yeah, he's coming back.
Yeah, and
here's the catch. What if he's back for good?
That's possible. I mean, look, I know people give the fake death thing in the MCU a lot of crap, but like it's, like I think they're going to keep Tony Stark dead, and that's a big one. Like, I don't think they're going to go back on that. But like, the thing is, it makes sense. She's probably capable of something like that, of bringing him back. So I wouldn't mind it, but he's definitely appearing in one of these realities that she creates.
He was riddled with bullets from a Quinjet. The only reason he was torn to shreds is because it was PG-13.
That's true.
Well, he's also a super powered being. Like, it probably doesn't hit him.
I do want to segue into something that kind of that we're talking about a little bit. But I had a thought as far as because a lot of people are having conversations about, if this is going to retcon the fact that her abilities come from a stone and doesn't come from the mutant gene. Is there a possibility that this show creates the mutant gene through her children? and they become the first mutants back in the 70s or whatever. Wow. And then in modern times, 50 years later, we find out there's all these mutants running around, and it kind of started with Vision and Scarlet Witch.
I mean, that's possible.
That's interesting. Well, they're going to have to redo, I think just because of times, right? They're going to have to redo virtually all the mutant origins.
Yes.
Like you're not going to have Magneto set like as a child in World War II in a concentration camp. At least I don't know really how you would do that. I mean,
he would be way too old. It would be near 100 years old.
Yes. So you could jump it ahead to Vietnam or Gulf War even maybe, or just some kind of other international conflict. Same with Charles Xavier. Storm you could probably keep the same, but I'm speaking mostly about Magneto. And what if there's a reverse thing where what if one of those kids is Magneto? If that's the case, right?
Yeah, that's Magneto. Magneto's technically her father. They could have done a reverse section in the MCU. That's very true. Very true. Oh,
they got to figure out some way for the mutants to make sense. They can't have just been in hiding this whole time. I don't think that makes sense.
Yeah. Brian, you're awfully quiet. What are your thoughts?
Okay, I'm waiting to give you guys my breakdowns of stuff.
Oh, sorry.
Well, we're saving the best for last, Brian. You're the expert, man.
I'm not gonna lie. I've watched this trailer upwards of like 20 to 30 times.
Jesus.
I actually really do like the music of it too. So that's kind of one reason why I keep listening to it. There were some things that I looked up and or noticed. Keith, you brought up the fact of who is Catherine Hahn. The long-standing rumor is that she's playing Agatha Harkness, which, if you know who that is, she is a witch, essentially, a very old witch, who in House of M finds out that they have created said twins and is highly against it. So, which she refers to them as mutations against whatever.
Interesting.
First mutants. I'm calling it. Mark the time. I'm calling it. First mutants.
So that could be a big possibility. And then another thing I came across was very subtle. And if you noticed that there's a part in the trailer where they basically do a close-up, and it's 2 to 3 seconds of a bottle of wine being poured, and there's nothing holding said bottle of wine, and the wine is written in French. That translation in French is Maison du, which is house of.
Yep.
And then Mempris is technically the word is contempt. So it says House of Contempt, but at the top of the bottle, there's a giant M written on the top. So it's a big slap in the face, says House of M.
Wow. Interesting.
Not to mention the bottle under the name that's written is a picture of a house.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go and look at that, then
I'm so effing psyched. This is one of the storylines I've wanted to see in the MCU for so long, is House of M. Oh my god.
So they said December. Does Falcon and Winter Soldier have a release date or no?
It's not until next spring.
So this comes out first.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
They're still filming Falcon and Winter Soldier, and this is done filming.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
And then my last thing was, which no one's mentioned, is the fact that Monica Rambeau got shot out of the air. Right. Which, if you don't remember who she is, that's the little girl from Captain Marvel.
Yeah. Maria Rambeau's daughter.
Yes. Maria, yeah. And she seems to be being shot out of the town, almost expelled from the town, which makes me believe, which would be freaking wild, and even more of a she might be a bad guy. I think Scarlet Witch is surrounded, like taking over a town, like put like a spell bubble around a town,
and it looks normal to everybody else, but like not
maybe,
to her,
or it's blocked
inside of it though.
Yes, and she has made this bubble town and created her perfect life in this town, which would be wild. Yes, and which would be wild because that means that like Monica Rambeau is clearly going to be some type of agent, right? Probably working for some agency. I think they've said it. It might even be the Time Variant one. And maybe they're the ones trying to get into.
Well, that would make. Oh wait, no, that was in the 90s. So would she be time traveling then, or something, or would that make sense with her age? No, it would.
It's the 90s. She'd be around that age.
That would make sense with her age. Yeah.
So I think Scarlet Witch is taking over a town. Like she's made,
and that would make sense because we've talked about for so long how she's creating her own reality. And back, I mean, maybe she does like the old school thing where like Indiana Jones, where they had that nuclear town. She's doing like one of those nuclear towns out in the middle of nowhere with all these people or something.
Well, that would, and it kind of plays to it because if she's clearly not just doing this all in her home, because we see multiple times them walking around during Halloween, trick-or-treating, and the town is being shown. She's talking to other neighbors and stuff. I think she took over the town, did like a Stephen King Under the Dome type thing. And I think she's going to...
What I was saying, like if somebody else drives by the town, it just looks normal. But everybody who she trapped inside, it's all her reality. Like that would be crazy. Because it would make sense rather than her doing it to the whole entire planet, you know?
Well,
like, even though I'm sure she could, but that would be very large scale. Like
either way, this show is going to be freaking wild.
Mess something up, and that's she's gonna destroy.
She's gonna create mutants.
Yeah,
calling it.
I'm so excited.
Crazy. Like it's weird. What Brian, what you mentioned about Loki on a previous episode, how it might tie into other stuff. Potentially, they could, if she messes with time, they could have a little connection there. Like there's so many different things you could do.
Not to mention.
Sorry, go ahead.
Keith, you are perfectly. That's exactly.
Kat Dennings, right? She's supposed to be in this too.
Yeah, she's seen in the trailer. Darcy Lewis.
I think Kat Dennings.
Yeah.
I think Kat Dennings is going to be one of the lead scientists to try to help fix.
She's in the. So there's a shot of like a group of people walking on grass, and she's in that. Darcy Lewis, the character, is in that group of people.
I missed that. Okay, wow. All right.
Yeah, she has her classic beanie on, which is why you can recognize her.
Yeah. Okay.
It's going to be a wild show that I cannot.
Maybe we'll make a find a pun name for an MCU Disney Plus review show, and we'll start doing episode reviews.
I mean, if no one,
the thing is,
the
thing is, we're not getting an MCU movie for a while, so.
Yeah,
dude,
we're definitely going to be reviewing this, so don't worry.
This is going to be the only MCU thing we probably get this whole entire year.
And it ties into a movie universe, so it's okay.
Oh God, I cannot.
Because they moved Black Widow. They're going to move. They're moving Black Widow again, right?
They're going. It'll move.
They're going to. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm assuming we're not getting. And I don't know. How's Tenet doing in theaters? Probably not great, right?
Black Widow's going to move till next year. It's going to move till next year.
Yeah, I think every big movie should, to be honest.
Aaron Taylor Johnson is also in Tenet.
Oh, good to know.
That is correct.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
Jacob and I
see it.
Shut up. All right, we need to move on because we don't have a lot of time left, gentlemen. We got about 10 minutes.
In the vein of WandaVision, Jake, you had this pretty cool idea that we're going to do here.
Yeah, I thought we would have had more time on it, but obviously MCU stuff gets us going.
Rundown, yeah.
MCU stuff gets us going a little bit, and so because WandaVision's based on a number of sitcoms, stuff like that, we're just gonna talk quickly about our favorite sitcoms throughout our life. There's a lot of them that we've experienced, and so we can just name some off, talk about them a little bit. But yeah, we got about 10 minutes, gents, so we got to go relatively quickly. But yeah, so Jacob, if you want to shoot it off to whoever wants to start first.
Let's go with Keith, man. Even though Keith and I have discussed this before on an episode of Barn.
I was literally just about to say that.
I like how
my list has changed since then.
I like how Jake passes it to Jacob, and then Jacob goes, "All right, Keith, you take it."
Yeah, Brian, we're on the outs here. Brian, we're on the outs on this show now. They went and saw Tenet. They went and saw Tenet without us. They didn't say anything. Now they're shooting off sitcoms together.
We did this already. You guys are.
Need to throw it to somebody else. I thought you were throwing it.
Brian, I'll just do this. Let's just make it our show. Yeah, we'll just talk about our sitcoms.
This seems more comfortable.
We'll just talk about our own.
Let me
sitcoms.
put my chair back and get a little comfortable.
Brian by himself talking sitcoms. I would love.
We can go 2-on-2. We do Farley and Barnes versus Brian and Jake.
I'm not a huge
Farley and Barnes versus
POV.
Shmuel show. POV. I'm sorry.
Well, we know who doesn't watch our show.
Sorry.
You're good. Don't worry about it. You're fine. Keith, what are your favorite sitcoms, man?
Yeah, sorry. Really quick. Yeah, like Jacob mentioned, we did this already. I actually did this myself, like maybe 2 months ago, because I was watching. I was just going through Hulu and I was watching. I've been rewatching Brooklyn Nine-Nine and trying to catch up on that. And so I just made a list of all my favorite TV comedies just randomly, like, about a month and a half ago. So it's funny that this idea came up, Jake. But so I just, instead of actual traditional sitcoms like with the studio audience or whatever, 2-on-2, let's do it. Basketball. I want to do basketball.
Oh, God.
No. No.
NBA on PlayStation.
Brian.
I'm the person that just shoots threes so they don't have to run.
But yeah, so like I just did TV comedies instead of like classic sitcoms. Like classic ones, obviously, the Cosby Show. It's the Cosby Show. It's everything else aside. Cosby Show. My parents just loved Cheers. I used to sit and watch Cheers with them sometimes. But as I started getting Martin and the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, two classic ones that I was kind of becoming a teenager in middle and high school, watching those. But I think peak TV comedy for me has been and Living Single. Sorry, I left out Living Single. Scrubs might be my number one. I'm not really sure.
Right.
How I Met Your Mother, which I've also been rewatching as well. The Office, maybe also might be my number one. I'm not sure. New Girl, which I really love. I've also been rewatching that. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, as I just mentioned. Maybe one of the most clever shows, comedies anyway, of all time is The Good Place, which I can't recommend that enough. I'm telling you, just start watching it. Don't worry about it.
I told you my list changed when we did our episode. I hadn't seen The Good Place, and I watched it because of that. I love it now. Yes. It's not like in my top 5, but I love it.
Okay, yeah, definitely understand. There's a lot going on that show.
The WandaVision trailer, it's not going to be the same at all, but it kind of reminds me of The Good Place a little bit.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I get the same kind of vibe. So yeah, that kind of existential, questions about reality and stuff. But Parks and Rec and Happy Endings, which is a show that only lasted, I think, maybe 2.
I'm watching Happy Endings right now, Keith.
Oh, great, dude! I love Happy Endings. That show was so funny.
Gab and I are in the towards the end of season 2.
Oh, that's great. Okay. Oh, very good.
Yeah, it's great. I like it. Yeah, it's awesome.
Disappointed. So disappointed it got canceled. But yeah, that's my list.
Cool.
Keith, we're gonna have to talk about Parks and Rec later because I didn't know that you've seen Parks and Rec since the last time we talked. But that could be here for hours doing that. Brian, what about yours, man?
I'm not a ginormous sitcom person.
You've said that before too.
Yeah, like 5 minutes ago.
No, I meant like before one time.
Yeah. So, it's funny because a lot of sitcoms I kind of like got from watching with my mom. Since I was literally born, my mom has put into me and my sister's head that her favorite show is I Love Lucy. She literally, that's like what we know her for, is loving that. And she even said while she was giving birth to me, that's what she was watching. So like, I have to like that show. But another one that we watched was Will and Grace, and that show is just it's so funny to me. Every time I've watched it, it just is so funny.
That's fun.
Another one, Fresh Prince, obviously. And then I was in a little bit of that Sabrina the Teenage Witch time. Was definitely for me. Also, I got into it after it was canceled, but Arrested Development.
I've always wanted to watch that.
When Netflix took it over, it kind of lost its funny, but it's still good. But what?
Sorry, Star Drew just
right?
brought up Wings. I love Wings. I used to love that show. Good call. Wings is in the Cheers-verse, the Cheers Frasier-verse TV show Wings.
Oh God.
Good call, Star Drew.
But yeah, so Arrested Development and I don't know if you call this sitcom, but Reno 911 is one that
yes. I love that show.
Just
oh my God.
Stupid, but it's so good. It's just so funny.
Officer J.
Yes. Oh my God. And I don't know if you consider animated sitcoms.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So
for sure.
For me, definitely South Park. I've watched.
Oh, nice.
I've seen every episode of South Park. So definitely that one. And my sister and I absolutely love Bob's Burgers. That show is just.
I've heard good things.
I've heard that. Yeah,
it's so good. It's so
I
funny.
think they're making a movie.
And then, yes, they are. And then one of my little honorable mentions that I think personally was ahead of its time, and it got canceled so quickly that I think if it would have came out right now would be just so awesome, which is Pushing Daisies. It had Lee Pace in it. God, it was so good, but it was ahead of its time. But yeah, that's my little list.
How about you, Jake?
So the ones I mentioned are Happy Endings I'm currently watching, which I really like. Fresh Prince had obviously been mentioned as well. Entourage is one of those that definitely has to be mentioned.
Like a sitcom drama, yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
I would definitely say Entourage. My all-time favorite is Boy Meets World. Boy Meets World is my all-time favorite sitcom.
Really, I thought it was another one that hasn't been mentioned yet, but
yeah, I grew up with it. I grew up essentially the same age as those kids, and I was watching it constantly. Also, I don't know why it came on late at night, and I would just watch episodes on episodes of it. It's Home Improvement.
Brian just said it the exact same time, and that's why I started going like that.
Home Improvement with Tim Allen is.
I forget some, and that's one of mine. I should have.
I love Home Improvement so much. It is such a brilliant show. I'm bummed that they don't have the reruns anymore, and I'm interested if they have it anywhere on streaming. Brian, if you know, let me know, because I would love to go back and watch some of that. And so, yeah, Home Improvement for one. Obviously, I got to mention that 70s show.
That's one I
can pop on an episode. I can pop an episode on anytime and just be happy because it's such a great show. It obviously fell off towards the end a little bit.
I forgot it.
But
it's
such just a brilliant show. I have some others. Let's see. Where'd it go? Oh God,
Home Improvement. When my parents were together, that was my dad's show.
One of the more recent ones, Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley on HBO is one of the more recent ones.
Everyone talks. Never.
So good. It's so good. There was one more, but I don't know where it went. So yeah, those are kind of the main ones. I don't watch a ton of sitcoms. Like I don't watch like How I Met Your Mother or any of that stuff. But it's all older stuff that I've kind of watched over time. That 70 Show, Boy Meets World, Home Improvement, Fresh Prince. Obviously, I watched a ton of. Recent ones were Entourage and Silicon Valley. And so yeah, those are kind of the ones. That's an hour-long comedy drama. That was the one that popped on my head. I wouldn't consider it a sitcom.
I've never seen it, but I heard it's.
They don't really make a lot of sitcoms that are very similar to like back how they were. Like, a lot of the sitcoms these days are very much like
with like the fake audience and stuff. Yeah, those type of sitcoms. And the funny thing is the sitcom evolved. Like now the mockumentary, like The Office and Parks and Rec, like that's a different kind of sitcom. But Keith knows this. My favorite sitcom of all time is How I Met Your Mother. I just love that show deeply. But challenging it, and I just debate this with myself every day, is Parks and Rec, because I used to watch How I Met Your Mother every day before I go to sleep, but now I put Parks and Rec and The Office on every day before I fall asleep. I used to be one of those guys who was like, I'm never going to watch The Office. And then people just keep telling me to watch it. And I watched it. And it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
But it's coming back. It's coming back.
Beavis and Butthead, man.
Oh, wow. Like I obviously love that 70s show, but some that weren't mentioned. 30 Rock is one of my favorite sitcoms of all time.
Watched 30 Rock. Yeah.
Guilty pleasure from my childhood is Full House. I mean, I watched so many episodes of Full House when I was younger. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is up there. Family Guy, love Family Guy, but The Simpsons is the early seasons of The Simpsons are absolute masterpiece gold. I've been watching them on Disney.
He's going to find a DVD.
Yep, that's exactly what he's doing.
I've been watching The Simpsons on Disney Plus.
Cranky here.
And I didn't know how deep The Simpsons is, man. The first few seasons of The Simpsons are super deep. But it's also like a sitcom type show. And then and I have Brooklyn Nine-Nine and The Good Place on my list, but also a new one that I just started watching is Community. If you guys have not watched Community, check it out. It has
where Donald Glover was discovered.
Donald Glover, Allison Brie, Gillian Jacobs.
I have one.
And what's his name? The guy who used to be a late night show host on Comedy Central. He's the lead of the show.
Tosh?
Joel McHale.
And there's a bunch of people who got their start on that show. Ken, what's his name? The guy from The Hangover.
Kim Jong.
He's on that show. Keith, I think you would like Community a lot if you haven't watched it yet. Has anybody ever seen Kim's Convenience? I've never seen it, but I've heard it's hilarious. And the actor who plays Shang-Chi is one of the leads on that show.
Oh, nice.
I've never seen it though, but I've heard it's hilarious. It's a Canadian sitcom, but yeah.
So I have one that I got to mention that I completely forgot about. It's on Netflix, and it is one of the best running shows today. It's Glow. Glow is a perfect
did Allison
sitcom.
Brie remind you of it?
Allison Brie reminded me of it. It is brilliant. It is so good. It's a 30-minute comedy. It's incredible. It's about real life stuff that happened with the gorgeous ladies of wrestling. And the fourth season will be its final season, so there will be 4 seasons after this new season comes out.
Because Allison Brie is amazing on Community.
She's even better in this. She is great.
Amazing. Keith, you grab something to share? What?
Yes. Well, if we could go back, Rachel said no one mentioned Friends. Rachel. I left that out. But one of my all-time favorite shows. I'm such a fan of Friends. I was in a Friends trivia thing last year in Sacramento, and I've got my central.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah, so I know Friends gets a lot of flack, obviously, for not having people
hanging out in a bar is much more fun, Keith.
So I've seen all the videos comparing those two shows. It makes me angry, but I actually do agree with you.
I agree, Brian. The Bryans agree.
Look, the thing is, I've never watched Friends. I've watched a bunch of random episodes of Friends, but I've never watched it from beginning to end, so I can't comment on that. But another one nobody mentioned, which is arguably the best of all time, is Seinfeld.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah,
I love Seinfeld, but it's not one of my personal favorites of all time. Just
no one said The Office either.
No,
I said The Office.
Oh, gotcha.
So my number one.
Hot take: The Office is overrated.
Agreed.
Have you watched it all from beginning to end?
No, but I couldn't get through the first season.
Yeah,
you're wrong.
Same.
You're wrong.
You're
First
wrong.
season
Wait,
is
hold
not,
on. Let me just do this. The Office is overrated. The
I agree.
Office is overrated.
All this hate.
All
this hate. Jacob.
Stop clicking the button. I was like, pull you back in.
watching the first 10 minutes of a movie and turning it off and saying it's
Exactly.
overrated.
10 minutes of a movie. The show was the first season's like
Nine
what?
seasons.
A total of like 10 hours.
Episodes.
9 seasons. First, it was written it started as like a mid-season replacement. It wasn't even, so the first season wasn't even, they didn't even know they were going to last as long as they did.
And the
Maybe
first
I'll get to it one day if they ever run out of TV of making TV.
the first season is honestly like not even in the top 5 seasons of The Office.
Good thing Max isn't here.
Yeah, I know Max would murder me. Max is a big Office guy.
Oh, they're gonna be
I will say,
Starger.
Yeah, he dressed as him. Yeah.
Star Drew, if you want to become best friends with PJ, tell him that you like Titus.
Yeah.
What's Titus? I don't even know what that is. I've seen that on here.
It's a old comedian's show that he did, and
okay.
it's hard to explain. But
all right. Yeah. Well, we can debate about sitcoms all night, but we ran pretty long this one. So
that was a fun episode, guys. That was a lot of fun.
Very fun.
Definitely was. People are confused. We switched so many times. But yes, that is going to do it for this episode of Apocaflix Now. Thank you all for joining us. We love talking to you guys. And don't forget to join us later this week. And of course, check out our merch store, TeePublic. You can search for Apocaflix Movies and find some of our really cool t-shirts. And check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all at Apocaflix Movies.
Thank you to everyone who's watching, because this is our highest live count yet.
You got to 15.
Thank you. Seriously, thank you.
On a regular episode of Now, yes.
This is awesome. So thank you.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.